Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to CEA Rocket League. Today we got a good one on board. It's Microsoft Offense 365 up against Capital All for One. My name is Dor. I am joined by the always large-haired Upmind. How you feeling about today's match?
Hey, today's match is going to be great. I mean, we've watched Microsoft Offense play off in the past couple of weeks, and they've been a team that has thoroughly impressed me. Now, in terms of Capital All for One, this is a team that I don't really know all too much about, other than the fact that they made it this far in bracket. And I mean, they pulled out some pretty impressive results. I really want to see their play in game.
Yeah, I mean, to me, literally every single one of the Microsoft teams is just solid all around, right? We talk about the Ninja Cats
Right.
all the time. Incredible team. Offense has been backing them up really, really well. Let's see if they can keep it up here today. Let's hop into game one.
So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Finally, yet another game here for CEA. We do apologize for a little bit of the delay, but it's a full best of 5 here on stream. How's been your week, Dor? It's been chaotic.
Definitely been chaotic. I can't think of a better way to try and end it, though. And honestly, I mean, this match means a lot to these guys. They needed to be focusing on it as well. Remember, they're coming in from the second group, so they're not exactly solidified in playoffs. They're still fighting for that spot, but at least they still do have a shot. You're not down in that third group. So every single one of these matches really, really starts to matter. And we can already see it's a pretty even. Oh, what a big dunk from Tiny. That was dangerous.
Massive stuff, and I guess we are already seeing a little bit of just hard back and forth between these two teams, and that's really what you get early on in a lot of games of Rocket League, where it's just kind of bouncing the ball back and forth, kind of like you're playing volleyball, and really just trying to see what you can do in terms of just pure dynamic, pure momentum, and see if you can actually get your team a little bit of a movement forward. Again, we're not seeing much of that just yet. It's mainly just sporadic plays here and there. Speaking of, Luna Oso on the front lines, taking it all the way from his own coast, but can't complete the goal.
I'll tell you what, Gus, every single time I come here to CEA, the level of play just catches me by surprise. These guys are just so quality, especially for what people call an after-hours league. Like, no, these teams are solid. They came into play, and for that reason, I think a lot of the game is decided here in the midfield, and who can create more pressure there. Corey can have a ton of it, in fact. Big stop, played up, one touch, the redirect, it's just high. Can anybody be there to finish it off? They've got a shot for Housebreaker. Corey doing their best to put it into the back of the net, but unsuccessfully so. Capital for One is going to be scrambling back. The net's wide open. It's up, it's over, and Joe Boogs puts it in.
Oh, massive, massive goal. And I mean, you could already see the little bit of development that this team has already been going for before. So it's not really that surprising that we're seeing Joe Boogs, a player that we've seen kind of shine on the server, go up for such a sick goal. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we do have ourselves what is 3 minutes and 20 minutes, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh boy, English is not my strong suit. I should just go back to Portuguese. I actually got to cast in Portuguese this week, so that's why my maybe my English language is a little bit faltering, Dor.
Gus, I'm sad I missed that opportunity. This one, though, is fortunately not in Portuguese. You know, as much as I want to watch you do it, I don't want to cast with you because that would be, I'd be lost.
Of course, it would be very confusing. It's all right. It's all right.
You know, it's not confusing right now. Microsoft Offense's game, they're playing the same consistent stuff we've seen. Relatively defensive. They don't take any huge risks, and I don't think they need to right now. Capital All for One has been happy to do that. Big double commit for this ball. The blue side won't be taking advantage of it quite yet. Just control a little bit more in their half. Down in the corner, no man's land, as I like to call it. There's really nobody can really get full control of this ball. You can create a couple of like semi-dangerous opportunities. There's more the counter-attacking that Microsoft Offense are looking for. They're waiting for that one ball to fly out, the one double commit from Capital One that they're going to punish. It hasn't come out yet. In fact, it's just more pressure from the orange side. Microsoft refuses to crack, though.
Refusing for now. It's been pretty good rotations in back and forth. Barry had a big opportunity at a shot, but kind of overjumps the boost. And Core, what a play! And again, just bangs off the post, but that just kind of emphasizes how close both of these teams are with most of their attacks. This game is just within one.
These redirects are just so disgusting from both sides, and that's what I'm really scared of here for Microsoft offenses. So far, Capital One, most of the shots have been relatively uncontested. They've just missed the goal wide, so a lot of the error has been on the orange side. They've had opportunities. They've just failed to make the most of them. Microsoft have chinks in their armor. It's just about exploiting those now as the ball is taken wide, and Capital One are up Lunaso is going to be looking for a center, but with all three players playing back on defense here, you have to think you need to be taking alternate routes. Either that's a creative play or going for something like a demolition could really crack open this defense.
No, absolutely. And I mean, more right now, we're seeing Capital One really go for some pretty long passes. Lots of centers, which in theory is really good, right? But we're seeing really good counterplay, really good rotation play from the side of Microsoft offense. So you're not exactly going to be able to break a rotation from long-winded passes. You really have to keep just nailing in shot after shot, and that's really going to take a huge adjustment in your midfield rotation to actually, you know, kind of create those chances. But in we go again, Door. 40 seconds left. I feel as if this is anyone's game. There is a lead on the board, but Tiny now in the back lines only was able to kind of lay it down in terms of a save, but now Barry crunching time off the clock, getting the ball forward. Tiny misses, only has to beat Joe. In comes the counterattack.
You know, it's been a long time since we've seen a 1-0 game, and it's not going to be a game today, guys. We've got a match on our hands. 1-1 finally. We see Capital All for One, who have had possession for probably 80 to 90% of the game, finish off one of those high-flying shots and put it into the back of the net. You like to see it. Let's see if they can finish this one off. We might be headed into overtime for game one.
Oh, certainly so. And I mean, we are so tantalizingly close to it. And, well, I'm here for it. Core now on the front lines, trying to get off of Barry. And, oh, man, that was close to being what would be a game-sealing individual goal. But now in comes one last counterattack. Luna Oso tries to drag it forward. Core just needs to keep it up in the air. Keep it more within the wall. That's some great movement from Core. That ball will most likely hit the ground. No, Luna saves it. Core needs a bump off the wall, but it's simply not going to happen. Overtime confirmed. It's golden goal.
There's nothing here but a lot more pressure from Capital All for One. They've been on fire. Lunaso is looking to seal this one out quickly. Demolition opens up the goal. A bouncer towards the back of the net, limping its way in. Core is looking to finalize things, but no. With 15 seconds onto the clock, it's Microsoft offense holding on for just a bit longer, if nothing else.
Oh! A little bit, but Core almost threading the needle. Oh, what a tight angle to actually take that shot. And again, all of these unorthodox shots are, of course, just breaking down this Microsoft offense defense. Because, I mean, you just can't really predict any of these shots. So, I mean, again, that was a plus for them a little bit earlier on, but they can't exactly depend on it really anymore. Finally, Microsoft offense, they do have themselves at least a little bit of a counterattack going on. Barry over towards mid. Core with a huge bump. It's going to be down to Joe in the back lines to try to cover up this 1v1. Core with a big pass. Good bump by Joe, but it's still in front of goal. Tiny clears it away. Core still fighting for it. Luna Oso has Housebreaker right behind him. 50-50, and it goes towards mid. It's reset. Tiny has the ball.
It's a speedy one towards the back line. And I mean, my question at this point, how many shots does it take here for Cal? Oh my God. Oh God, the goal's wide open. There's nobody there. They've all been sent right back to the spawn points, fortunately. Ball's just floating a bit high. Capital One are looking for a counterattack right now, but Microsoft offense are not one to let pressure off this ball. Team captain Tiny loading up for a 50-50 and locking the ball down here for Capital All for One. It's about time they got a little bit of their own medicine and felt what it's like to be in your own half for a whole minute. But Lunaso, nearly in towards the close corner, shut down by the Microsoft defense, but it is far from over yet, Gus. That goal is open. Another miss from Capital All for One. Can Lunaso seal it out? Yes! The one goal they needed after so many shots. They come in and take game one.
I mean, you gotta feel for this Microsoft offense side. I mean, so many chances, so many attacks towards their own defensive side at the very end, but that was really due to the adjustments. I mean, I was begging for it. Attack the goal. Don't just be sending it down mid and hoping that you could, you know, potentially kind of squeak one into the nets. It's simply not going to happen. Huge stuff from Capital All for One at the very end. Still getting themselves just a very consistent rotation, just getting the ball on net, breaking apart the defense little by little, and they succeeded at the very end with a 2-1 finish. That was just game number one. This is starting to get spicy.
I mean, it only gets better. I just want to take a look at the shot stats right now. 12 shots on the board, all in all for Capital One. And I think that's discounting some, right? Rocket League misses a couple here and there. And there were definitely a few just swings at the balls that ended up in miss. But, you know, it's not about necessarily how many go in. It's how many tries you get, I guess. We'll be coming to a quick little break before game number 2. We'll hop right back into things.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back after an exhilarating game number 1. We have game number 2 between Capital All for One and Microsoft Offense.
And now this is where things get spicy, with All for One having gone up a match after God knows how many shots. They've got a really great chance to send it on to match point. And Microsoft Offense are a team that we know want to play a battle of attrition. They want to sit back, play their defense, and come in, play counterattacks. But I think the longer Capital All for One go, the more those shots are going to be going in, the more they're going to warm up to this idea of scoring the opportunities that they make for themselves. And oh my God, they are not letting off the gas pedal.
No, not by any means, but we're seeing a lot more midfield pressure from the Microsoft Offense team, which, again, was something that they were seriously lacking throughout game number 1. So hopefully they continue that momentum throughout game 2.
Renasso up. It's a double commit off the wall. Housebreaker needs to be careful. It's up and over. Joe Boogs. Can he get the miracle goal to open things? No. It's just going to be Lunasso with ball control down the side. 50-50s in midfield. It's exactly the way the game 1 was starting out. But I like the pressure that Microsoft Offense 365 are putting on right now. They're actually playing into the attacking half a little bit more heavily. And I think that's going to relieve a lot of the pressure off their backs.
Right, but they also have to watch out for, of course, committing to those, hard 1v1s. Because if you go for 1v1s, then you might start to get into this convoluted spot of maybe even double committing. You start going off on your own, kind of as a lone wolf. Kind of like Joe Boogs at the moment. Yes, he is a great scorer for his team, but thus far in this game, he's been a little bit overly aggressive. Now he is helping out his team over towards the defensive side. We have an attack going on. Tiny tries to go up for it. The ball is still right in front of nets. Joe Boogs only lightly taps it forward, but now in comes the counterattack back. Tiny has control. Luna also just looking for the knock-in.
No!
But he whiffs. Oh no, that is so unfortunate. That could have been the lead.
I mean, it's exactly what I'm talking about. They have shots. They've got opportunities. They just need to be making them count. Barry with the waterfall down. Tiny to lay it in. No! Great goal save by Housebreaker. Now back into the corner. Offense laying on the pressure. And I think they got to live up to their namesake a little bit more here, right? I think for them, the best defense is going to be a stronger attacking side. They've proven it already so far. Boogs is now up down the line, making sure there is plenty of pressure in the midfield. They've got a great opportunity here with Tiny, who's going to lay it into the corner. Is there a team play opportunity? Pass to the center. Off the roof. Joe Boogs for the right side. No, he's wide as well.
Oh no, Joe Boogs goes wide. When Joe Boogs goes wide, something's wrong with the mojo of the game. Halfway through, we don't have a singular goal on the board. Again, this is almost exactly like game 1. It's anyone's game purely because of what is a very good defensive rotation from both of these sides.
I mean, don't mind. It's not for lack of trying from either of these teams. They've both had opportunities. Just for whatever reason, they've caught the can't finish off a goal virus. And I mean, it affects the most of it.
They've got butterfingers.
Exactly. I mean, we had Amazon always with shots on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago, and they lived up to their name. They won the game still, and they were so aggressive that they managed to get all those opportunities that eventually you're just going to score and win the game. And I mean, it's one of those days, but we're watching both teams go at it in that sort of fashion. Lunasso now up the side, Housebreaker for the goal. No, misses on the redirect. Joe Boogs lays it back into the awkward corner. Can't quite get full control of it yet for Microsoft, though.
Oh, toss up from Devin B. Again, he's the sub coming in from not from Microsoft Offense, for Capital All for One. So again, it might be an optimal switch. Again, we don't exactly know the dynamic of all of these teams, but well, I'm just kind of seeing how he slots into kind of the formation, especially on the attacking line, something they were having a little bit of trouble with early on in game number 1. At least for now, we have not had much offense by any means. I mean, like you mentioned, we've had a couple of one-off plays, but nothing more than that. 1 minute left, and again, it all would just come down to one goal.
It's just as close as the first. Under that 60-second time bank, like you said, Barry now. He's got a good cross. Stopped again by the Capital All for One. These teams are rotating 3 men forward, 3 men backward. They are playing hard defense. Oh, great job avoiding the demo. Now Lunasso can play out of the half. It's past center. Devin B's not ready for it. Joe Boogs plays it up to Tiny. Goes for the bump. It's going to be a miss from them. Now it's about keeping that pressure on if you're Microsoft Offense. You could actually carry this all the way to the end of the game. That's a dangerous one over top. Tiny to make it a center. No, it's a finish. No, it's another miss.
Oh, it goes way wide. There were 2 bodies on goal, so you really just had to thread the needle. Again, he went for a little bit too much finesse rather than power. And now, at this point, the ball is still in the back lines of that blue side. Microsoft offense trying to make their way out. Joe Boogs knocks it up to Barry. Barry with the shot. Housebreaker dives. Tiny with another one on net. Luna also spreads it wide. Joe Boogs with one last shot. And for the second game in a row, we have overtime.
These guys are going the distance, Gus. Even if it doesn't go to 5 games. I mean, this has felt like 5 games of Rocket League. Joe Boogs trying to put some style points into that one. Fortunately, there is a goalkeeper in the way. I love the change up here, though, for Microsoft offense. There might not be a score line change, but I feel like they've definitely had just so many more opportunities that their odds have increased exponentially, especially when you head into the overtime, where actually getting that goal is almost as important as defending your own. Barry now is going to try and pass it in. Oh, Tiny. Just a little bit of miscommunication. The solo man dribble, put it off the side wall. Barry should be able to intercept this one and give him a long ball for the counter attack. It's Microsoft offense to try and seal the game out. He's got the touch, but again, it's wide.
Oh, Barry, so many opportunities on that front end, but they just barely go wide. Yet another attack for Microsoft offense. They have mostly been the ones on the offensive side thus far in this overtime, as we just passed the 1 minute mark. Housebreaker over towards the corner. Somehow he and Barry even end up colliding off that very corner. Devin B just trying to find it forward. Joe Boogs, he's kind of waiting around, but he has Barry in front of him. So at least try to fight up for that 50-50. The bounce in! Joe Boogs! He's been waiting for his opportunity. He's been waiting to finally get that goal-scoring prowess of him out onto the server. And what a goal to seal away game 2 and tie up the set.
The hero of Microsoft, they call him. This guy has been there for almost every single one of those finishes. Has looked solid all the way around. You see it. 2 shots, 1 goal, a boatload of points. This guy was all over the field. I think you really have to put your hat off to Microsoft offense and Joe Boogs, right? This is a team that, I mean, they adapted in 1 game. A lot of times you see teams wait a little bit too long to do that, oftentimes getting punished for 2 games, going to a match point, and then by the time they change things, it's too little too late. Microsoft offense, they're quick on the ball, they're playing well, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, Gus.
Yeah, no, this game, again, we mentioned how close this has been thus far. This is as close as you can get, and I love that type of action purely because both of these teams, they have a very proficient defense. They have good rotations going on at the moment, and really both of these teams are at around the same attacking level, purely because, again, we've seen so many whiffs, and not only that, but we're also seeing more or less the same opportunities being thrown out for both of these sides. So honestly, the skill level, I think, is very much the same. This is what is making this game so darn close. Well, of course, we have another game on our server. Game number 3. We're heading right into it. No break.
Shots rifling off from both sides. All of last game. Joe Boogs. Could he do it early? It's up. It's over. There's nobody in goal. Barry, you can't miss this one. It's wide open and dead center. Set up by Joe Boogs himself. Microsoft offense taking the earliest lead that we've seen yet, Gus.
Super early, and again, great stuff from Joe Boogs, as again, especially when you're early on into a singular play, especially right off of kickoff, you're not going to have a team with full boost by any means. So if you're just throwing off that entire defense where they're just throwing cars at that ball, you're just going to have an empty net. Great distraction play from Joe Boogs. And overall, let's see what Capital All for One can really respond with. Because this is really the first one in a while that they've been at a disadvantage. But Core going for a little bit of mechanical magic.
I've got to say, if there's one thing Capital All for One have impressed me with, it's definitely mechanics. These guys have been up in the air and everywhere.
No.
Oh, but this is simple plays that they get cut off on. Barry for another cleanup goal. Capital All for One is going to have to start firing back sooner, much rather than later.
No, absolutely, and that is just, again, that is just disastrous. I mean, they're playing up 2 men at the moment off of their rotation, and something that's, you know, something that I really liked out of their attacking formation was always having that attacking anchor. It is a little bit risky to actually have, but if he can nail in the deflections towards nets, or at least try to throw off the defense, right, that's cool and all, but you're facing Microsoft offense. They are a high scoring side, and if you give them a singular opportunity to get a counter attack in, they're going to break apart your defense.
There it is.
But speaking of attacks, oh boy, it's chaos in the nets. The ball barely goes through as it hits the post twice, and now it's a counter attack.
I have no clue how Tiny managed to save that one, but Joe Boogs is looking to make it a real play. Barry can't quite seal that one out, but the pressure is not over yet. Microsoft offense, I mean, they got a taste of blood, and they want more, Gus. Capital All for one, they have possession now at the pass to the center. Lunaso, beautiful redirect, bar down, but it's a bouncer up, and Tiny should be able to at least save it for now.
Oh, counterattack from Barry, and he's still fighting forward. Great stuff from Barry, all solo. All of his teammates need to get up their boost too, so now they can reset. Great stuff. And I mean, you gotta feel for Luna Oso. I mean, that is the type of shots that you're gonna be practicing in that practice arena. You gotta be hitting those.
Training field be damned. It's a rough one right now for Capital All for one, for all of the opportunities they've gotten. And like, I don't want to shortchange this team. They look incredible.
No.
They've had so many opportunities. It's just, unfortunately, finishing them has been the major problem for them so far. Capital All for one. Still got time, though. We're not even halfway through this game. It's only 2 goals difference. Barry's up. Luna Oso unable to finish the ball for that time. Core's going to lay it back center. Another touch out wide now. They just need one of these to go careening towards the net, but Microsoft isn't letting it anywhere near.
Nowhere near for now, but again, they're still attacking that front end. We're halfway through our game, and this could really change on a dime. We really just need 1 goal to really change up that mentality. And Core has mostly been on the front lines in terms of just pure shots. Yet another one from Core, a pretty hard redirect to actually make from midfield, but it's nothing much. Counterattack going on at the moment for Microsoft offense, but it's already knocked on back. Tiny has to stop it as he's about to get into a 1v1 against Core. Ooh, the little bit of the stutter step, pass straight to Joe Boogs. You're gonna have Barry on that back lines, but he has to stay back towards goal. 50-50 against Core. Great save by Barry.
Every single time you think they've got one, Capital All for one get locked out by this Microsoft defense. It's so strong. Luno, so finally though, roof down, ball in, 1 goal now the difference.
There you go. That's finally at least a little bit of a start for Capital All for one, and it's almost that same dynamic from game number 1, right? It's so close, but it almost just comes down to the fact that, you know, Capital All for one, they're just not getting balls on net. They finally get one, so now they remember what getting a goal feels like. But that one is already dead and gone to them. They really just need to keep going forward and really just trying to hold back. Oh, Core, he tries to stop it, but you have to give it to Tiny and Joe Boogs. What a play there, passing between each other and Tiny. I mean, that one was essentially in the net. All Joe Boogs needed to do was just blow a gust of wind towards it. 1:35 left into this game, and Microsoft offense, they're looking to get a lead going into game number 4.
You could feel it. The boost was so low on the way back now, though. Back in, beautiful redirect, better save by Joe Boogs. The tension's high here, as you need to start mounting on the pressure, mounting on the goals. If you're all for one, it's a low ball into the corner now as Core plays at center. The midfield pressure for Microsoft offense is just debilitating. Oh, that's an awful one for Capital All for one. They have not exactly been having the greatest time, and this redirect into goal is just, it's unlucky for Core. I'll say that, right? You're being challenged at the same exact time. That's an extremely difficult save, but it came in at a horrible time for them.
No, absolutely. And I mean, that was just Tiny over towards the corner anyways. And that's that same dynamic that I mentioned earlier with just having an anchor towards the front end of the field, really just looking for that deflection. Again, it's not exactly that was their setup, but they had the person there. And that's going to be an absolute pain in the butt for defenses, because not only are you going to be in those, you know, 50-50 type situations, but also your defense is just going to get broken apart from those off-angle shots, from those off-tempo shots. 50 seconds left. Capital All for one, this game is more than likely lost, but they could still put up a little bit of a fight if they can get a goal in within the next couple of seconds.
Gus, you know they're confident when Joe Boogs is actually in Twitch chat, like, currently. He's playing the game. There is not a delay here. This is Rocket League. He's in the game and in chat. He believes in this win like no other right now. The 3-goal lead is so comfortable for Microsoft offense. I think if Capital All for one want to do this, it's going to have to be in the game 4.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's a rarity to see, and even then, Joe Boogs and Tiny still combining on that front end, potentially to get themselves a 5th goal. 10 seconds left. This one is done and dusted door. Really, Microsoft offense looking for one more to nail it in. Hat trick for Barry. I think all 3 of his goals have really just been tap-ins, but we'll give it to him anyways. Huge stuff from Barry. Huge stuff from Microsoft offense. They're looking to game 4, and they're looking to close it out.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all about hammering away at the confidence of Capital All for one. I mean, by all means, like, I feel like by most metrics, I would say they've had a pretty good game, but from a demoralizing standpoint, the number of goals is really what gets you there. And, like, for all of the good play that we saw, for all of the great setups, not putting in any of those shots, it's going to take a real shot to your confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what we're going to see now is really just potentially just a mental reset for Capital All for One, because they just haven't been able to get any of these shots, any of these opportunities that they've had on the front end over towards nets. Really, the only game that they've had goals was game number 1, and you just can't be having that. Yes, I do understand that you guys even won that game, but it really just comes down to how proficient can you guys be on that front end? How confident are you guys? Because it almost seems like they're almost stuttering towards that midfield area when they're actually trying to get those shots in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a little bit of a break before we head into game number 4. Thank you guys so much for watching thus far. What might be the epic conclusion is coming up in just a little bit.
And we're back. Game number 3 under our belts. Game number 4 up on the chopping block. It's Microsoft Offense up 2-1 versus Capital All for One. They want to seal it out here and now. Now, Capital All for One, I think there's one thing they have to do. There's only one bit of advice I can give this team, Gus, and that's just finish off your shots. Put them in the back of the net, and they'll be feeling just fine. They've had enough opportunities that it should be able to even up that score line.
It's easier to say than to do, Dor, and I think at this point the defense for Microsoft Offense has actually been, you know, very, very proficient thus far. So I mean, hey, I'm hoping for them, right? Capital All for One, they had a very proficient game number 1, especially when it came down to game 2. Though they had a really good balance between attacking and defense. So at this point, they just need one in, and indeed they do. They attack that front end as Housebreaker gets an off-angle shot in, and Core is there to tap it. That is, well, okay, a good shot from Core, but that is a catastrophic failure from the defense of Microsoft Offense.
And that's just a huge boost to the confidence, right? I can't think of anything that they needed more than an early goal right there. Just get the blood flow, and oh my God, they're double dipping, guys. Not exactly the most hygienic thing in these times, but I'm all kinds of here for it.
It's disgusting, Dor. And well, I guess we might be seeing the fist bumps in a little bit, because you got to be feeling that. Like you mentioned, it's the confidence factor in almost any esport, especially when you get banged out in the game prior and you take a fat lead. Well, I think you're going to have the let's goes going throughout that Discord call.
I mean, it's one of those things that as casters, it's our job to talk about the things that affect the game. And in a lot of games, I don't talk about confidence too much, but in Rocket League, where you have to make split-second decisions and you need to be confident in them in order to make them fast enough, it's actually just an extremely important part of any game of Rocket League that you have to take into account. Momentum matters so much for these guys. And Capital All for One just flipped it on its head. Joe Boogs now, he's going to try and even things out down the line, but he's got no boost to do it. He's looking for a bump here.
Oh, no.
Knocked back. There's a huge opportunity for Capital All for One. Core can't quite get around this ball, though. Good shutdown by Barry to give his teammates time to get back.
And Barry fought for good stuff. He could have stayed back in the nets, especially because of the fact that his teammates had no boost in actually being able to get back towards that defensive side. So Barry desperately needed to win that 50-50, and indeed he did. Now at this point, Microsoft offense playing around that defensive side, and again, they are playing with fire, just passing in front of their own nets. It is very scary, but now in comes Joe Boogs again. A little bit of a floater, and it passes by two. Housebreaker is still there. Joe Boogs still has control, still fighting for that ball little by little. Tiny is here finally to help, trying to knock it forward, trying to knock it mid, but it's simply not going to happen just yet. More control from Capital All for One.
Absolutely nothing is free right now for either of these teams. Oh, maybe this, though. One defender just in time. Devin B lays the ball down. I love how much we've seen out of Core lately. Just the control in the attacking side of the field has been so strong. Retreating extremely quickly. Oh, no. That's not the touch you were looking for.
Oh, absolutely not. Core, good stuff, at least trying to knock it forward. But Joe Boogs, again, you got to think Joe Boogs, he's been, again, all over the field, really super going aggressive, but that sometimes is being a little bit of a detriment to his team. And in that play, at least, he tried to knock it away, but he just didn't have the right angle, and he acted a little bit too early. Good stuff from Housebreaker being at the right spot, and now Core is the one stepping up to the plate. This time it was Barry trying to get it clear. Hey, in all reality, that was an all right move. That was an all right bump, but just laid it in for Core, who was ready for it halfway through our game. Capital All for One, their lust for goals is more than alive.
You think Joe's still in chat? I don't think Joe's still in chat.
Who is Joe?
I
think that's
Gus, that's the real question we need to be asking ourselves. Who is Joe?
Who is Joe? I
guess we'll have to find out later. Maybe chat can tell us.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right,
Housebreaker on the front lines.
What do we got here for Microsoft offense? They got to start equalizing this score. We're into the second half of the game. Capital All for One has shut us up in every sense of the term. They've put these goals in. They haven't been missing, and they finally look as solid as we wish they would. Core heading up this entire thing, doing such a good job applying pressure to this team now. I mean, one more would effectively seal the goal out in my eyes, if we're being honest, Gus. It's so close to a disaster right now for Microsoft offense. A big bump by Housebreaker leaves the goal open. Barry's back, though. Core to stop this one, and the pressure continues to mount here up against Microsoft offense.
Oh, Barry. Oh, almost slotting it in, but again, good save. A little bit of a double commit. Core comes flying in from midfield to actually get that save. It was the only one that could have possibly been on that back defensive line. And even though Capital All for One, they're up by 4, they're still fighting tooth and nail as if this is game 5. It's game number 4, folks, and game number 5 seems to be almost a guarantee.
Microsoft offense have got to average a goal every 15 seconds. That's a Herculean task for realistically any team, even of this caliber. Oh, what a dirty one from Core! I mean, he has taken the team, strapped on the backpack, and is carrying him all the way across the finish line. That's not to detract from his teammates, who have been doing a fantastic job playing on the defensive side, but that air roll flick is just a little too gross.
So slick. I mean, we've been kind of praising Core and Joe Boogs as being really the two strikers for this team, being the two players with, you know, super good mechanical skill in this game period. And I mean, Core might just kind of be that cream of the crop, you know, kind of rising to the top. And well, with 40 seconds left, he's surely taking his team forward to that winning threshold. Yeah, I mean, game number 5, why not, Dor? I mean, I think this game deserves it.
I wouldn't complain. I'm here for it. We're past the point of the historic Georgetown comeback of 6 goals in 30 seconds, so I'm pretty sure, but unless we pass like world record territory, this one's over, guys. The time's all up. Let's talk about what Microsoft offense can do a little bit better here. I feel like their attacking opportunities have actually been few and far between. For all the pressure they've had in the attacking side, I don't think they've made that many shots of it, and we'll check the stats after the game. I think we'll see that reflected very clearly.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think if we were to have overall statistics, game number 4 would be the absolute outlier. Purely because Microsoft offense, this is going to be their first game in this entire set where they didn't score a goal unless they can get one of these last couple of seconds. And yeah, no, Capital all for one. They absolutely just padded their stats in that one. And yeah, no, I want to see what these stats are all about because I think they might have just pulled what is one of the better performances of this entire league thus far in just one game.
I mean, what a way to clap back as well at Microsoft, who looked really, really confident after their previous game. I told you a lot of it, though, came down to that opening goal, the opening two even, that just gave All for One so much potential to just play in the attacking half and be confident in themselves doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, Microsoft offense, we kind of saw a lot of I guess you could say momentum, a lot of movements from them, at least towards that midfield line, that attacking line. And I think that's really the main thing that Capital All for One was able to break down. It was literally making them just make them feel as if they just do not have the game, make them feel as if they just do not have any of that confidence. And that's really all that Capital One ended up doing, just attack after attack after attack. By minute one, this game was over. This game was done for. Microsoft offense now, they need to do the exact same thing that Capital All for One did and get that mental reset going for yourselves. Now they do have a little bit of a moment to talk things over, but it's not a lot of time. They really need to get into this one, folks, because we are looking at Division 2. This might be worth a spot in playoffs. This is huge. Game number 5, Door.
Let's get right into things. You said it. A whole playoff spot could be on the line for this one. Microsoft offense has got to pull it back. They've had very little time to talk, but now they've got very little time to win a game. 5 minutes between them and a potential 5-game loss. It would be heartbreaking to see them go out in this manner, but Lunaso is not letting off the gas. He's got their foot squarely planted on the throats of the Microsoft offensive team, and he wants to be putting them out of their misery.
And not only that, but that's yet another weirdly angled shot from Luna Oso that could have gone wrong. If I'm being completely honest, could have bounced off the floor, could have hit off back towards that post. But because it was so in front of net, you can't really miss those.
Ooh.
But this game, this game is looking like a banger because 12 seconds in, we already have 2 goals, one for each side, and Joe Boogs and Tiny combined for yet another one. This was the dynamic duo that we saw earlier on in this set, and now they have emerged once again. That's their first goal in 2 games.
You know, I gotta grin ear to ear on my face right now. It's not because one team's winning and anybody's scoring it. This is good Rocket League. This is really good Rocket League, Gus.
Right. We are looking at Division 2. These are 2 teams that might not even make it to playoffs purely because of how the standings are. It's almost unbelievable that this is the amount of skill. This is kind of the threshold that we're looking at with this entire league. This is a corporate league, Core. They have important things to do, but Core only has 1 goal in mind, and that's to get goals. Still 1-1, however. 4:15 left.
Hey, we're playing 2v2 for a little bit here. Joe Boogs, high flying, bigger miss though. Barry lays down softly. Joe Boogs can't find much of anything here in the corner now. As things slow down, we're playing back in the midfield. I think this game might be decided by who can put on the more miraculous defense right now. Housebreaker has a great opportunity for a center. Good denial though by Barry, laying it out to his teammate Tiny. Textbook save here. Big counterattack opportunity for the Microsoft offense side. Joe Boogs can't quite find the redirect he's looking for. But I'll tell you what, they can play back, and the blue side's doing a much better job of maintaining control of the ball, even if it's not always in the attacking side of the field.
Absolutely, but now in comes Joe Boogs, who is on the anchor, but Luna Oso gets the first tap on it, and now in comes Core immediately. He has almost a full boost setup to go with, but he's already wasted most of it, but he almost uses up every single bit of it to get that ball in center to get a goal, but simply does not connect. 3:20 left, Joe Boogs on the front lines, looking for a pass up middle, but now Barry and Tiny both resetting. Barry has that full boost set up so he can at least help out Tiny. That is off angle, but Housebreaker and Core break the tempo, break the momentum, and now they have themselves a lead for Capital All for One.
And it was that touch down the line by Barry that really sealed the deal, allowed the cross to come in. And I mean, after game 1, they got all of the whiffs out of their back pocket. They were done saying, okay, you know, we'll miss a bunch of goals here, and then we're going to come back in the series, and we're going to make every single shot we get. Or at least Core said that, because, oh my God, when was the last time? Housebreaker.
Oh my!
House breaking ankles more like. He finds an open goal, but luckily Tiny's able to get there just in time to keep the scoreline within 1. Ball's up. Bigger save by Housebreaker. Core is keeping the ball down low and in the corner. And for all the attacking side that we've seen Microsoft offense get, every single time they move into the final quarter of the field, Capital All for One just gets 3 members back, pulls on the E-brake, and looks to maintain their lead.
We're about to pass the halfway point of the game, and again, it's incredible that Capital All for One is in the lead here. Oh, a little bit of a weird spot for Housebreaker, and he has to readjust back towards goal, and he barely saves that as he gets into a little bit of a collision midair. Again, Capital All for One still alive, and they're looking for one other attack. Luna Oso with a huge pass, but he's gonna whiff it. Tiny now has an opportunity for a counterattack, but great rotation thus far from Capital All for One.
Absolutely. Now Joe Boogs is his turn, with 1 goal being the difference. I mean, 1 goal has been the difference in how many, the first 2, and then the other 2 were weird wipes that just felt like outliers to this series. This feels like what it was meant to be when these teams are fully powered up, when they've got themselves going. Microsoft offense losing players rapidly right now. The goal's wide open. Housebreaker towards the close corner. A tap in for Core. Aren't your stats padding enough, bud? Let your teammate have it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Top goal scorer of this game thus far, and really someone else that I thought that it would be the top goal scorer, Joe Boogs, hasn't exactly been able to step up to the plate over towards the defensive side. It looks like as if the entire defensive side for Microsoft offense is a little bit broken at the moment, and especially when you have Capital All for One like that, actually with a stellar rotation play again and again, you're gonna get broken apart. Huge deflection actually might be a bit of an opportunity over towards the front lines, but somehow Capital All for One, they recover. Luna also covering up for time too, so that's a little bit of a boost play for his teammates, but in comes Tiny.
Oh, it's an open goal. Joe Boogs, just a little bit too far forward position-wise. It's a counterattack for Capital All for One. They want to lengthen this goal to 3 goals, and it's the Lunaso. That might be the nail in the coffin, Gus. This is a tough comeback for Microsoft offense.
Oh, it's super, super tough. And again, 4-1. I mean, you mentioned how much time it takes to actually get yourself those 3 goals, and I mean, we're split between 120. They might have a good threshold of time. They just need to be so proficient on that front end. But the defense, the midfield pressure from Capital All for One has been bang out thus far. And now Housebreaker, such a great deflection, but Core is not there for the shot. If Core got that one tap in, I would have argued that it would have been the nail in the coffin. But Core once again, yet another shot forward. Barry, what a save. Yet another bump by Luna Oso. Housebreaker on the front lines. 50 seconds left in the game. We have a 4-goal advantage for Capital All for One. They fought this entire time, and it looks as if this game is all theirs.
They've earned it, Gus. They've gotten this far. I mean, I'll say it, there's still possibility. I think the minimum time for a goal in Rocket League is something like 3 seconds. Microsoft offense, it's within reach. At the least, very difficult. At the most, chat, Joe is going to need all the energy you, Joe Sims, can actually give him for the time being, because Capital All for One, they came for the money.
Oh,
Barry's found an open net, and he's starting the comeback. 3 goals, 30 seconds, guys. It's going to take a miracle, but there's a chance.
No way, right, Dora? I mean, it almost feels as if this game is already done for, but, well, at least it's cool to see Microsoft offense still put up a good fight. It's the 2-1 setup off the kickoff. Barry has to go, has to keep it within mid. He was waiting up for that bump from Joe Boogs, but it simply did not happen. Ball is now forward. Ball is bumped. Core up, trying to take away Tiny, but it's simply not going to happen. And now it's getting knocked back. Are we getting yet another one? Oh, the deflection is back at backboard. But no last
open
shot.
Goal on the other side of the field.
13 seconds.
Joe
Tiny
Boogs
goes for it. Deflection, misses the deflection, and the ball is away. The clock is ticking down, and this one is done for. Ladies and gentlemen, Capital All for One is going to take this one in nail-biting Game 5 fashion, 3-2.
Holy cow, Gus. Upmind,
Wow.
I've never seen a team fight harder for a win. Everything was against him after that Game 1. I think Game 4 was what did it. The second they came swinging back like that, 6 goals or some ridiculousness. I mean, just fantastic games all around. My hat's off to both sides. These Microsoft teams never fail to impress, and Capital One never fail to upset. Big stuff from them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And great sportsmanship. Both teams, it's kind of just like real respect, real. both of the players in chat saying great games and whatnot. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our game. I think we do have an interview coming up with one of the representatives from Capital One. We need a little bit of a break too, get that hydration back up because boy, do we need it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a little bit with that winner's interview.
Hey, I'm back. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, interview not up on the board today, but there is more Rocket League action next week. Same time, same place, Saturday, 2 p.m. Be sure to be here. The games only get better. Thank you guys so much for watching.